Mm. Oh, hey, everybody. It's Malika Dickerson with another episode from the New Progressives vlog. And first, before I say anything, I want to apologize because it has been like over a month. And again, it's my fault because I have to do better about balancing my paid work with my free with what I'm doing here. This is too important and time is of the essence. We've got like 45 days and people are already voting. And so I feel bad that I haven't done this because this segment was very important to do a month ago, which is why I had it queued up. And here's I was saying how on AM Joy on MSNBC, she had a 2 hour show on Saturdays and Sundays. I watch religiously. Well, now she has a weekly show. Thank God. I love having her in that chair. And so the first and only Black woman in primetime news hosting her own show. So but isn't so they haven't gotten rid of the show. Instead, they have different hosts rotating in. And Tiffany Cross is my favorite of the three so far or four that have sat in that chair. And the reason is because Tiffany Cross has conversations that you wouldn't normally have on nightly news, but is so relevant. Again, she was talking to getting not just how we need to get out and vote, like people like LeBron and James and Renee Montgomery. She actually went and talked to a younger player, Brandon Marshall, about these different about something, and he brought up something totally different because you wouldn't normally see Brandon Marshall on the MSNBC. I mean, I rarely ever see athletes on there, even though we have a lot of them being politically active right now. So I appreciate what she does and the kind of conversation she brings. So if y'all don't watch AM Joy or never been before, I suggest you pick it up. And of course, I say watch Joy Reid every weeknight. But I wanted y'all to hear what Brandon Marshall had to say. It's only a minute and 40, and I have this queued up for you. So listen to this. I keep forgetting to share screen. Here we go. Now listen. So eh, again, and so all these years, I vote. It was just then we talked about, like, I and my mom and dad never talked about their political persuasion, but we talked about voting, and we always grew up knowing it was important to vote. I couldn't wait to vote. I mean, I wasn't 18 yet when I graduated high school, and our last week in class in my government class, when it was still our last class to where it was part of your general education and curriculum in high school, you had to pass government to graduate. And at the end of our year, because we were leaving high school and going on the world, most of us were 18 and about to turn 18. We filled out a voter registration card. Coach West would hand out our voter registration card. So everybody that went through that at our high school was registered to vote by the time you were 18. Couldn't wait. But I never even thought about it. Like, you see pictures from, like, that are, drawings from the 1860s and stuff, when post Reconstruction, when black men could vote, first got the right to vote. and the intimidation of white people standing around trying to spook them. And, you have the version of the black man who's confident walking up to the poll, and you have the one who's intimidated and afraid. And it just didn't even occur to me that, that we still have the black men in this country still have that reticence. I mean, it's not born out of nothing. I mean, there's a deep root in our psyche as a people in this country, and particularly for black men, because they were the targets. I mean, black women, we didn't get the right to vote until the 1960s, okay? Black men got the right to vote technically in the 1860s. White women got the right to vote in the 1920s. To be black and a woman and get the right to vote, that's 1965. We were the last. So, okay, I digress. I got a lot to say about black women. But black men apparently have a hard time, or especially younger ones. They want to vote and they hear people say you got to go vote. Well, what do I do? Now, I'm against spoon feeding. My little cousin Gail, we just had this conversation yesterday and I lost it. I went off because my other cousin is 23 years old and he just failed a driving test because it was stupid, because you're not thinking. And I don't like that. You got to think for yourselves. And so you can find information when you want to know something, especially now, because anybody can Google anything. Then, if you really want to know, you're going to find it. I've seen people search for videos. Oh, I saw this thing on YouTube. Did you see that video? Search for 5 minutes. But to find out how late you have to register to vote in your state, when does voting start, is that too much to ask? So again, I'm going to share another screen with y'all. So I have been collecting these things. I have 3 right here, because I always use vote.org when I want to see, because vote.org, I love vote.org because it gets down into the nitty gritty. If you want to know who is literally running in your district, in your precinct, for every office, go to vote.org. I mean, they break it down by state, by everything, city council. I mean, like, if there's a student council, it's probably on there too. So it basically is just a repository of all the current ballot information, everything you need in every single state. It's not partisan. Sorry, this is allergies. It's cold now. The leaves are already turning yellow. And here comes my hay fever. This is always fun. I love Ohio. But anyway, I digress. So I these 3 sites, I wanted to walk through us together so that y'all know. And again, like right now, you still have time to register in some states. You still have time to request a mail-in ballot, but it's late. And I mean, at this point, if you haven't requested your mail-in ballot, don't even chance it. You're going to have to go vote early, but you're going to have to go in person. And we saw the first day of voting was this past Tuesday. And I mean, who was saying that they got like choked up? I did too, watching so many people come out in Wisconsin. I mean, everybody was socially distanced. People had their masks on. People were prepared. But I mean, they came out early because they're like, I want to vote this year. And so where there is a will, there is a way. These websites. Now this year you've got different organizations, all kinds of organizations that are basically saying, here's how you vote. You know what I mean? And they got it broken down for you. So here is NBC News. They have done a whole thing where they say that if you go to plan your vote, it's NBCnews.com/plan your vote. And you click on your state, you've got everything you need. So, and here, and just let's look at the overview. You see right here, these orange states are states where you can't say, I want to vote by mail because of the COVID pandemic. So Indiana, Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas say, fuck you, go die if you want to vote, because they think that'll dissuade people that want to vote against the people that created this pandemic. So where it's light blue, Kentucky, West Virginia, New York, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Connecticut, South Carolina, Alabama, Arkansas. You can say, hey, I don't want to vote by mail. You got to have a reason to vote absentee or by mail. Same thing. then you can say, hey, it's the COVID. And they'll say, okay, and it doesn't matter. Because usually you got to be handicapped, you got to be, moved from different places or whatever. These dark blue states like Ohio, we don't have to have an excuse. You get to vote by mail, period. So look at all these states. Let's damn it do it. And so if I click on Ohio here, let's see. Where's my, is it not interactive? Oh, okay, I already did. See, I clicked Ohio. Oh, wait, they already pulled it up. The deadline to register in Ohio, we have 15 days left. The deadline to register is Monday, October 5th. There are 44 days left until election day. So look, that's up to the minute. That's nice. That's nice. So let's see what it says. What else did we get here? You also get, when is your deadline to request? Here's another thing. Oh, wait, let me get to the top because I want to say this. It says, can I register to vote and cast my ballot on the same day? No, there's no same day registration in Ohio anymore. But you don't need a photo ID. Bring one just in case if you go in person, but you don't need one. Now, you don't have to request a mail-in ballot this year. All voters have been mailed a ballot request. Now, my sister got confused on this. So listen, and it is confusing. So we requested a ballot online like 2 months ago, or months ago. I think it was even before that. We've been wanting to vote since 2016. All right. So we requested our ballot like a couple months ago online. And so it was confirmed. Yeah, you've got all three of y'all are getting your mail-in ballot. So we're done with that. We're just waiting on the ballots now. Well, then we got mail-in ballot request forms in the mail like 2 weeks ago. My sister's like, wait a minute, what are these? Are these the ballots? No, those are not the ballots. We aren't voting yet. We don't vote in Ohio till I think the 6th. So no, it's not the ballot, but because they're sending out to request, because if I don't, we have the internet, but if you don't have the internet, how are you going to request a ballot form? I mean, a mail-in ballot, right? So the state of Ohio, to make it easier, is sending out paper forms to everybody by mail. So if you want a ballot sent to you, if you want to vote by mail, then you fill out that form and say, yes, I want a mail-in ballot. Once you send that in, then when voting starts, you'll be sent a ballot. That's when you fill in your ballot for who you want to be president, who you want to be in your Senate, who you want to be your representative in your district, who you want to be your sheriff, who you want to be your state legislature, who you want to be mayor. Listen, we've got lots of people on ballots, and that's why I say go to vote.org so you can see. Put in your zip code, and you can see exactly who all you should be voting for, because you got levies in your cities and in your counties. You got tax proposals and propositions. So if you want to go to that repository, this is going to help you vote to actually do it. But be informed. Know what people stand for. Know what people are doing. And when I've worked the polls in California, I mean, there were a lot of, especially young people did this. And I just wanted to punch people. I mean, I'm young. I keep saying that. I'm not that old. But yeah, they were younger than me mentally, I guess. And they would like come in 08 because everybody was on fire for Obama in California. And they would come in and they would go, boom, boom, vote for Joe Biden. And they would tell us, oh, we just want to vote for Barack Obama, right? And they would just hit those two. And that was that. Well, there's all kinds of stuff on that. But vote for everything. Vote for everybody. Your Congress is the first branch. Your House of your representative, Joyce Beatty, is in my district, right? Your House of your representative is from where you live, where you physically live right now. Your senator is in your state. There's only one president. He is not king, despite what Trump and his idiots have been enabling him to do. We don't have a king. The president represents the whole country. But your individual representative is very important, and you should know who they are, and you should actually vote. And I say vote all these enablers. I don't care if you're Republican. This ain't right. Everything, every rule and every law that they are breaking is destroying our democracy. And if you believe in democracy, you got to vote that way. So if you're one of those people that are intimidated, remember, go to vote.org and get informed, know who's on your ballot. So don't get confused. Everybody in Ohio, and this isn't state to state, but I'm talking to Ohioans now. You're going to get a form, and you should have already got one because we got ours 2 weeks ago, and we didn't request a form, but everybody got a paper request form that says you're actually asking the Secretary of State to send you a ballot so that you can fill it in at home and then mail it back. You're not going to vote in person, okay? What you got in the mail, that's what it was, even if you requested one already online. So don't send it. I mean, whether you send it in online, if you've already requested your ballot online, you're already requested. Even if you fill in that postcard, it's just going to confirm what you've already said. Yeah, I want a mail-in ballot. But don't get confused, okay? Be careful about that. And so you have to mail your ballot in Ohio. Had to be postmarked by November 2nd. Now, here's where the shenanigans they're playing with the Postmaster General, if you want to call him that, DeJoy, what he's doing, messing with the post office. Now, I know personally, me and Misty, we noticed this like a few months ago before it even became in the news, because we were ordering stuff for the summer and for Daya and everything, and my nephew had a baby, so we were ordering stuff for the baby, and it just was so late when we were ordering this on Amazon Prime. It was like a week, 2 weeks. I'm like, where is my stuff, right? Before we knew there was all these shenanigans in July, and that's when we started noticing, like, what in the hell is going on here? Okay, in Ohio, when do I need to mail my ballot? You have to mail it by November 2nd. Don't wait that late. Don't wait till the day. Don't wait until a week before the election to mail your ballot. Please don't. If you're still holding on to your ballot on November the 2nd, I want to punch you personally in the throat. All right? Because it has to be received in order to count. It has to be received once you mail it by November 13th. Anything after that ain't going to be counted. So if it's November 2nd and you still haven't mailed it, you better drive your ass down to your local election official office. You better go to the clerk of courts online, find out where your office is, and drop that bitch off personally. Because there ain't no excuses. There ain't no excuses, black people. Let's go for 100% participation. Everybody that can vote, let's vote. Let's shock the world with, this is how we do democracy. This is how you take your democracy back from a tyrant, okay? Yes, you can drop off your ballot in person in Ohio. Yes, you can vote with or without a notary or witness. Yes, you can say, I don't want to vote because of COVID. Can you track your ballot? Yes. And see here, if you go to NBCnews.com, it'll click here and it'll take you to where you can track your ballot. Okay. So that's awesome. I like that because me and my sister, we always take a picture of us hitting enter in our ballot in our pics. So we have pictures on our phone. Oh, motherfucker, you gonna count my vote. Excuse my French, sorry. Okay. And can I vote in person before election day? Yes, but only in person. Right? Your mail-in ballot is only going to be counted on election day. So, yeah. When is the first day I can vote early? October 6th. Remember in Ohio, the first day you can vote in person early. You can go down to your election office in every county, in every city, in a small city. My mom and dad said they kept moving their polling location like for years and years. And again, they've lived in the same house for 45 years. So when I say for years and years, they had the same, them and their neighbors, our neighbors had the same exact polling location for decades. And over the last 10 years or so, they're like every election is moved somewhere further away, further out in really white rural areas where they're getting stared at and looked at like, what are y'all doing here, right? Okay, they do that to intimidate y'all. F them. Look, it is your right, black man. You walk in there with your head held high and your chest out and say, give me my ballot. I'm here to vote. USA, USA. So that's what I'm saying. So yeah, and you can read more. They got all kinds of information here. I like that. So go to a different state. I love it. That's the way you do. Track your ballot. Go Bucks. That's our state flag. Colbert, Stephen Colbert, who actually ran for president a few years ago, y'all remember? He actually came up with a Better Know a ballot. He used to do Better Know a district on his show. And before every election, he would interview a bunch of different representatives throughout the country. Well, look at what this dude has done. I love it. He is such a patriot. I've always loved Stephen Colbert, but here we go. Here we go. I know I'm biased. It's Ohio. Go Bucks. And how do you vote in Ohio? But out online, and they got all the same. When you request, when you return, vote early. And so it's the more you know, the more prepared you are, the easier it's going to go for you. You know, and the less intimidated you're going to be. When you know your rights, you can't be intimidated. I don't care where they send you. You're going to walk in there and be like, give me my ballot. If they try to deny you, you already know what to do. And here's what I love. Cheryl Kneifel, she was on, where was she on last night? And she was saying for the Legal Defense Fund, the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. And so unlike all these other ones that I've shown you, this one is awesome because see, it doesn't only just show you how to vote and register and absentee, but it takes you to how to sign up to be a poll worker, how to report issues on election day. If you want to tell them, the LDF, the Legal Defense Fund, and they're all across the country and state by state fighting to make sure that everybody's vote is counted and that the election is protected. So if you know something's going on, some shenanigans where you live, they have their email there, and they've been doing a lot of litigation already. They've been suing a lot of different states and secretaries of states to make sure, like you saw those 4 states where, or 5 states where you can't even use COVID as an excuse. They want their citizens to die to vote. And so we've got a lot of resources. And the more you know, you have less than a month to really bone up and figure this stuff out. Actually, let me take y'all to vote.org so y'all can see what this site is like. Because it is kind of like, check your registration. But man, I always change this all around. So everything you need to go. So here is Ohio. Check your registration, register to vote. Early voting. Wait, this is the site I'm looking for. Okay. Wait. Candidates. This is the one that tells you all about your candidates. What am I looking at? Anyway, I got to wrap this one up because that's one of the tips I've gotten since I started this. But so again, in honor of what Brandon Marshall said and the point that he pointed out, I take it and I say, okay, then let's fight against that. I mean, everybody, you got a right to vote, black man. You got a right to vote. Don't be intimidated. Walk in there with your chest held high and your head held high and look him in the eye and get your ballot. you be a black man. Look, I want all y'all to vote. When y'all get it together and y'all get there and y'all do what you need to do, there's nothing more beautiful, nothing more powerful. So I trust you'll take that information and do something with it. Thank you.